Yes, hello guys to another welcome to another video today, and today we're going to be talking about who is a sporting director. So as usual, I will tell you my name, Gaucho Brian, and I'm going to introduce what we're going to be talking about, which is sporting director, what they do and what they don't do, or what they shouldn't do. But anyways, most of us fans, we know what the name sporting director is, but do we also know what the actual role is? Of course, many people know that they are in charge of transfers or blah 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 whatsoever stuff. But anyways, we're going to dive into who is a sporting director, what does he do, and what does he actually do for a football club, and does the football club actually need a sporting director? So let's go, guys. So football FIFA license agent Gaucho Brand is my name, and yes, I think most of you guys watching already know who I am, but of course I have to still introduce myself. So first of all, a sporting director, before I start on that, I will say most of it I'll go through some questions, some bullet points I've put on my laptop, and I'm going to be reading so that it can help me guide for me to answer your questions. As usual, if you think there's something you can leave a question on the channel, always leave a question on. That's good by me, or fine by me, and then I answer later. So, who is a sporting director actually of a football club, and what does he do? So, a sporting director, or whether he's called director of football or the same, is a senior executive responsible for footballing strategy and long-term vision of a football club. So he implements a plan, and that also targets the short-term gain of the football team or football club, and also with the long-term gain. So let's take, for example, if a sporting director comes to a club and the club is probably fighting relegation, his target will be that let's keep this club not to relegate, but also start to build on a plan to be successful in future. That's the general thing of a football director, but it goes more deeper than that. So what does it actually do? They act as a bridge between the board and the coaching staff. Good. So they act as a bridge between the board and the coaching staff. So it's almost like a middleman between the board is there, the coaching staffs are here. Let's take, for example, the sporting director of Man United, which they have a new one why I'm right now. But let's take, for example, Dana Schwartz, who was been maybe who was sacked by Manu, had to act like the middleman between the coaching staff in charge of, let me say, communicating very well with Eric Ten Hag and his staffs, for the former Manchester United manager, while also acting with the board. So that's just it. So, but as I said, it goes deeper than that because he's in charge of scouting department to ensure that the club maintains clear philosophy of recruitment. So most sporting directors who do good jobs is not, you are also in charge of, is a big thing. So you are in charge of recruitment. You have to see that the recruitment is right, not the kind of recruitment that teams just buy players here and there just to fit in with no philosophy and no strategy. So let's dive into a little bit the rule of a sport of and responsibility of a sporting director. So why am I talking about sporting director? Because also as a football agent, these are the things that I will be going through, trying to know the in and out of various sporting directors, because that is one of the rules things I'll be doing a lot this summer, walking to all the elite football teams, starting from Finland, then probably not probably then moving to other parts of Europe. But also, I want to know a lot of the sporting directors, what their strategies are in Finland, also trying to learn what they do. So that's my target, also, actually, my plan this summer, in about few months now, trying to know all the sporting directors that are in Finland, what are the rules of the elite teams, because specifically you cannot know all, but most of the time, of course, if you have chance to know the ones who are maybe at the grassroots level or whatsoever, because also they can be doing a great job. But most of the time, I think I'll be focusing on the elite Liga team, the elite tier, to try to know what is the plan, what's the vision, what is the strategy, everything like that. So also that will give me an insight. But anyways, this video, let's jump back into it and not maybe move away from different topics. So the rules and responsibilities of a sporting director, that's strategy planning and football philosophy. So the first, what kind of football do you want to play? A sporting director should be very aware at the top of those things that when you're bringing player, the strategy planning of bringing player, what kind of player you want to use, the philosophy you want to play. Are you a counter-attack team? Are you an offensive team? Are you a high pressing team, or are you a ball position team? Any team, but the philosophy has to be clear. So this plan has to be implemented, and also then players are being fed into that structure. That is how modern football is being played. Of course, back then you could bring players. Of course, this system was still working, but we had specific things that you could tweak. Like I give an example, like these days we don't see the traditional number 10 anymore, because we used to in those days you play your traditional 4-4-2, and then you have one of the offensive midfielder being the playmaker of the team, trying to dictate the tempo, or everything goes through him. But these days coaching is being done that everything fits into a certain system. That's why we don't have so many maverick. Let's move on. Players so they are in charge of strategic planning and football philosophy, as we spoke about, which is develops and implement the club footballing vision and playing style. So when a club plays with when a sporting director has done a good job, you see actually the vision of what the club is actually doing. That okay, this is what they want to do, and these are the players they're going after. Ensures consistency in playing philosophy across all teams. So let's take, for example, they start from the first team to the academic team that they are focusing on. Same philosophy, same style, so that when someone leaves the academy to the first team, it's also quite easy transition. Works closely with the head coach to align recruitment and tactics. Yes, he works close. The sporting director, his role, he works closely with the head coach to actually know about recruitment. They are in charge of recruitment, so he actually communicate with the head coach and who they are bringing and who they are not bringing. Okay, next one we'll be looking at player recruitment and transfers. So player recruitment also, this also comes is a different department that now goes with overseas with scouting and recruitment of players. They also contact agents, scouts, analyze various talents, whether you're a young player, for example. Those also would have been, I give an example like of Manchester United. They have recently been signing young players. So like Chido Obi, uh, Sekou Kone, just a few there. But most of these players must have been signed with a system that they have scouted them, and all these things, the sporting director must be at the top of this. So also, some bullet points that I will give in is academic and youth development. They are also in charge of academic and youth development, overseeing the academic that they come through, looking who is growing and who is developing, who can move into the first team. The coach also, that's why he is in charge of communicating with the coach, and also works on loan strategies, who is going out to get more game time, who is staying because he looks as if he can get some minutes for the first team. Okay, then the next will be like managerial and coaching appointment. The sporting director also is also a big say in hiring the head coach of a team who they feel that can fit into the philosophy of the club, carrying the club ahead. For example, looking at various coaches and seeing that okay, this coach plays a certain way, progressive football, he might be actually good for our team. We need a certain coach so that because maybe he is good with managing elite players or whatsoever the sporting director wants. So this is a crucial role for a football club. So, and financial and contract management. He works also with the CEO and the board to manage the club's footballing budget. Ensures the club follow financial fair play and regulation. I think also, but he's not really into it. Of course, he will know one or two things in this kind of department because financial and contract negotiation management, I think there are also people who are more, in my own opinion, because I think there are also people who are more credible than this. But I think his department is really into contract negotiations on the footballing side a lot also. So data analysis and performance monitoring. So he also works closely with the data department on which player is, how is the development of each player. So actually, most of the department give him report. And in real life, we'll give an example of a sporting director who has done who did actually a great job. If any of you guys know Monchi, who used to manage Sevilla and AS Roma. So his name is Roman Rodriguez Vedoyo, known as Monchi. Is one of the best sporting directors. He transformed Sevilla. If you remember in the days of the Dani Alves and the Sergio Ramos, but he transformed Sevilla with an elite scouting system, and also later worked in Roma. So he was in charge of bringing Dani Alves to Sevilla, Ivan Rakitic, Jules Koundé passed also through Sevilla. So a lot of people that they built Sevilla and also made Sevilla also the club was winning a lot of Europa leagues. We all know Sevilla and the European League history. So that is also actually the job of a sporting director. But what I'll be doing is, as I said, I'll be putting more on this also because I'll be talking more also on a lot of things concerning general football. Because as an agent, you have to know a lot also of these things, how sporting director works, how most of how a football club works, so that you learn a little bit and there to become an elite agent. So as I said to you guys, any question, leave it to me and we will talk more on it. Any topic you want me to do, we can speak more on it. But there's actually an important thing I'll be doing in the summer because as I'm a licensed agent, I'll be walking around also trying to see and talk to various sporting directors. What are their strategies and everything? So most of those interviews that I can do in the summer and try to get to know them, I will be posting them on this channel. Yeah, so that will be something very exciting that I'm planning to do this summer. It's about 3 months from now, let's say. So I'll be trying to walk around various cities and talk to the various sporting directors and coaches, get interviews with them, and try to know what are their strategies, what are their philosophy, and everything. So that is it. And before we go, I'm going to give you the 5 best signing of Monchi because we spoke about him. The person who transformed Sevilla, who is an elite sporting director. So you have Dani Alves. He signed Dani Alves from 500K and sold Dani Alves to 35 million to Barcelona. He arrived as an unknown from Brazil and developed to one of the best attacking right back in the world, and actually was the best attacking right back in the world for a long time in Barcelona. Ivan Rakitic signed for 2.5 million and sold for 18 million. So you see, their model was quite clear: sign young and sell. Jules Koundé was signed for, of course, 25 million, but sold for 50 million to Barcelona. That was quite because they are expensive a little bit because the money these days, the transfers are quite very expensive, or the money is quite high and huge. I don't know if you know of Wissam Ben Yedder, but anyways, most of you guys probably know him. He's a striker, France international. He used to be France international. So signed for 9 million and sold for 40 million. Sevilla to Monaco. So quite good. Ever Banega, do you remember him? Ever Banega, a very good ball playing midfielder, signed for free with huge impact on Sevilla. So those are actually most of his signings. Anyway, guys, it was about the sporting director. I just wanted to give you guys some few tips about or let's talk about this. And as I said, if you have any topic on these questions or on this topic, if you have any questions on this topic, leave a question and we shall talk about it. And if not, see you in the next video. Take care. Cheers.